Everyone talks about the top 1%, but almost no one realizes how far the gap really goes. Let's climb the wealth ladder from the top 25% to the top 0.1% and see just how steep it really is. Let's break down what it actually takes to join the top 1% wealth brackets in 2025 and what these numbers really mean. I grew up in a pretty typical Asian American household that believed education and hard work was the path out of poverty. Later, working at the World Bank, studying the economies of the poorest nations, and later advising private equity firms, I saw how wealth really operates, from developing countries to billion-dollar portfolios. And here's what I've learned. Wealth isn't about how much you earn, it's about how your money works for you. So in today's video, we'll explore 3 things: what it actually takes to reach the top 25%, 10%, 5%, 2%, and 1% of Americans by net worth and income, how millionaires really make money and the 7 income streams most of them have, and the mindful habits that help them build lasting wealth that we can use ourselves. Hi friends, I'm Diane, and on this channel, we talk about all things building wealth and creating a prosperous future for our families. Now, before diving into the numbers, let's talk about how we perceive wealth. According to the 2024 Charles Schwab Modern Wealth Survey, Americans now believe you need 2.5 million to feel wealthy, up from 2.2 million just a year ago. But here's what's interesting. The threshold for feeling financially comfortable actually dropped to $778,000. It shows a shift. People are valuing security over extravagance. And that brings us back to a core truth. Wealth isn't just income. It's about how our money works for us. So while the average US household looks like Millionaire on paper with a net worth of $1.06 million, the real middle really sits at $192,000. The median basically represents the middle point. Half of households have more, half of households have less. Average is higher because top earners skew it upwards. So that gap reveals how concentrated wealth has become and why averages alone can be misleading. Now, let's take a look at what it really takes to reach each level and what these numbers even mean in real life. So at the top 25%, your net worth is around $340,000 to about $500,000, and your income is around $95,000. This tier includes teachers, engineers, nurses, people who work hard, save consistently, and finally seeing progress. It doesn't take a Wall Street salary, but it does require time and steady habits. But many here still feel one emergency away from slipping backwards. That's why having an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months or 6 to 12 months or more is critically important at this stage. Now, moving up to the top 10%. The net worth is around $970,000 to $1.9 million, and income is over $173,000. On paper, this group looks comfortable: doctors, lawyers, executives, but much of their wealth sits in illiquid assets like homes and retirement accounts. In a US Census Bureau analysis found that home equity makes up 28% of household wealth and 62% when you include retirement savings. So while spreadsheets say they're thriving, many don't feel wealthy. They're asset rich, but still working for liquidity for breathing room. Now, moving up the tier, we got top 5%, and their net worth is between 1.1 to 3 million, and income is around $340,000. This is where the psychology of money shifts. Income alone can't buy freedom. People here start focusing on ownership, equity, investments, and assets that compound even when they're sleeping. Most are at least in their 40s or older, transitioning from accumulation to preservation. Their question changes from, how do I earn more, to how do I protect what I've built and make it last? Now, moving up the percentile, we got the top 2%. Net worth is anywhere between 2.7 to about 5 million, and income is around $500,000. These are entrepreneurs, corporate leaders, seasoned investors. They've learned that wealth at this level is strategic. It's about tax efficiency, diversification, and legacy. But wealth also brings new challenges: responsibility, decision fatigue, and pressure to sustain what they've built. Ambition meets stewardship here. Now, at the top 1%, your net worth is over 11 million to 13 million, according to the Federal Reserve Bank of Richmond. Now, moving up the wealth ladder, we got the top 1%, and the net worth is around 11 million to 13 million, according to the Federal Reserve Bank of Richmond. Nearly 8 in 10 are self-made, but they've reached this level through ownership, not wages, businesses, real estate, portfolios, or intellectual property. Now, at this stage, their money truly works harder than they do. They've shifted from earning to managing ecosystems of assets. Now, last but not least, we'll talk about the top 0.1%. Average wealth here is 62 million plus. Roughly 130,000 households nationwide are in this bracket. You've got founders, hedge fund managers, entertainers, multi-generational families where their wealth compounds through private markets and inheritance, shaping industries and even public policy. So the takeaway, the wealth ladder isn't linear, it's exponential. The jump from the top 10% to the 1% isn't just about more money, it's about access. Access to time, networks, and opportunities that multiply their wealth. Now, if you're still climbing, remember, the goal isn't to compare yourselves to the top. It's to build systems, habits, and mindsets that put your money to work for you. Now let's take a moment to zoom out. As of mid-2025, there are about 24 million millionaires in the US, roughly 1 in 15 adults. But millionaire doesn't mean $1 million in cash. It means your assets minus your debt totals 7 figures. The US added nearly 300,000 new millionaires in 2024 alone, driven by compounding investments and rising home values. And here's what's fascinating. Most millionaires don't rely on a single paycheck. They average 7 income streams from jobs, businesses, dividends, real estate, interest, royalties, and partnerships. Think of it like a table. The more leg it has, the sturdier it becomes. If one slows you down, others keep you steady. But before building multiple streams, you need stability. An emergency fund, 3 to 6 months of expenses in a high yield savings account isn't glamorous, but it keeps your wealth engine running when life gets unpredictable. And here's the truth. Most millionaires aren't flashy. They're small business owners, professionals, dual income families, quietly building over decades. The classic book, The Millionaire Next Door by Thomas Stanley and William Danko found that most live below their means and value independence over status. Ramsey's Solution National Study of Millionaires surveyed over 10,000 millionaires and found that 79% didn't inherit a dime. They built their wealth through discipline, consistent savings, and smart investing over decades. And in the Rich Habits study, found that 61% of self-made millionaires are small business owners. Wealth doesn't happen overnight. It grows quietly when you can make calm, consistent decisions over the long term. Now, if you enjoy breaking down the real numbers and the psychology behind wealth like this, join my free Cafe Economics newsletter. Each week, I share freshly brewed financial insights and money tips straight to your inbox to help you make smarter money moves over time. You can sign up with the link in the description box below. Now, with a clear picture of who the wealthy really are, not the loudest spenders, but the most consistent builders, here are 3 mindful habits I've seen across almost every case. First is clarity before growth. They know where every dollar goes. They track their net worth like a business tracks revenue. You can't grow what you can't measure. Most start simple, one spreadsheet or app, and quietly check in monthly. Quiet awareness builds momentum. And if you need a network tracker, you can find it in the description link in the box below. Second is equity mindset. They prioritize ownership, companies, properties, ideas. They don't just trade time for income. They build assets that earn while they sleep. Wealth comes from equity, not just effort. And third is time leverage. They design systems, investments, automation, and teams that keep compounding even when they step away. They know time is the ultimate non-renewable asset. Ultimately, the wealthiest people I've met value options, the freedom to choose how they spend their time, who they work with, and what give them energy. That's what real wealth looks like. Freedom, not just fortune. Now, if you're ready to gain clarity on your own wealth path, I'm offering free one-on-one clarity calls sessions to help you understand your numbers and design a roadmap towards a work optional life for you. You can check out the link in the box below. Friends, if you made it this far, thanks so much for watching. You can check out my next video here where we explore the real cost of the American dream and what financial freedom really looks like today. Thanks so much for showing up, and I'll see you in the next one.